So what happens when you take an ancient sacred text and put it under a modern microscope? I mean, a really modern one. Today we're diving into this incredibly ambitious project that's trying to do just that. Analyze the Quran using everything from mathematics to linguistics to cryptography. Okay, let's get into it. And this really is the big question at the heart of it all, isn't it? Can the tools of data analysis and hard numbers actually uncover patterns and meanings that have been lying there, hidden in plain sight in a scripture that's over 1,400 years old? It's this wild intersection of faith and data, and it is absolutely fascinating. The project itself is called the Encyclopedia Ijaz el-Quran. Basically, that translates to an encyclopedia of the Quran's miraculous nature. And it's not just a book, it's a proposed multi-volume series that wants to document these claimed miracles, not just through faith, but through a really structured, scholarly, and interdisciplinary lens. And their mission, well, it's nothing short of monumental. The goal is to systematically explore every single aspect of the Quran that people claim as miraculous. We're not just talking about one single theory here. This is an attempt to build a massive, comprehensive, evidence-based case using multiple fields of human knowledge. You can really see the sheer scope of this thing when you look at these 6 planned volumes, or pillars as they call them. It kicks off with a mathematical foundation, then moves through language, science, even cryptography, and then, and this is crucial, it ends with an entire volume dedicated to criticisms. It's a huge intellectual roadmap. So, how in the world do you even begin to analyze a sacred text with numbers? Well, let's zoom in on the framework they propose in Volume 1. It gets into a really specific mathematical approach. Okay, so the main tool they lean on is a concept called the digital root. The idea is pretty simple. You can take any number, no matter how huge, and boil it down to a single digit just by adding its digits over and over again. It's a way to simplify things and look for underlying patterns. And the process itself is super straightforward. Let's just walk through the example here. Say you had the number 456. Step 1, you add the digits. 4 plus 5 plus 6, that equals 15. Since 15 is still 2 digits, you just do it again. 1 plus 5 gives you 6. And boom, the digital root of 456 is 6. It's a consistent method they use to simplify numbers. All right, so we've got our tool, the digital root. Now let's see how the proponents of this project propose using this and a few other calculations to try and uncover what they believe is a deliberate, precise code that's actually embedded inside the Quranic text itself. Okay, so the path they lay out starts with the numbers 5 and 7, which they've chosen for their symbolic importance. First, they're added together to get 12. Then, in a separate step, they derive the number 6. And finally, those two results, the 12 and the 6, are put together to form the number 126. The claim here is that every single step in this sequence is intentional. And from this point, the calculation takes one final leap, leading to what the researchers claim is the key to this whole pattern. That number, 126, gets squared. So, 126 times 126 gives you this exact 5-digit number, 15,876. Now, in this analysis, this is not a random result. It's presented as the destination, the whole point of the calculation. So, what does it mean? And here is the climax of the claim. The number 15,876 is interpreted as a coordinate. The 15 is said to point to the 15th chapter, or surah, of the Quran. The 87 points to the 87th verse in that chapter. And the 6 points to the 6th word in that very verse, which is wal Qur'ana, meaning and the Quran. And the verse itself, you can see it here, talks about the 7 often repeated verses and the great Quran. But look, this whole numerical example, as interesting as it is, it's just one small piece of a much, much bigger vision. So let's zoom back out and see how this fits into the encyclopedia's broader, multidisciplinary approach. As you can see from this table, this project is designed to be incredibly comprehensive. Volume 2 would get into the linguistic beauty and structure. Volume 3 would explore claimed connections with modern science. Volume 4 would go even deeper into cryptography and hidden codes. And Volume 5 would look at historical accuracy and prophecies. It's really a 360-degree analysis. Now, what's really fascinating about this project proposal, and what the source material points to as its most unique feature, is its stated commitment to intellectual honesty and, well,
balance.
And this really highlights a key difference. While a lot of faith-based analysis, tends to focus only on the evidence that supports its view, this encyclopedia proposes dedicating an entire volume, Volume 6, to nothing but criticisms and counterarguments. This idea of actively engaging with refutations is what the authors say really sets their work apart. So all of this leaves us with a final, really powerful question. What happens when we apply these rigorous tools of modern data science, mathematics, and critical thinking to texts that have been understood through faith and tradition for centuries? Whatever the outcome, a project of this scale is guaranteed to spark a new and fascinating dialogue between ancient revelation and modern reason.